Good morning, everyone. Today, my topic is dynamic array in Java. So, before starting of dynamic array in Java, we'll talk about the basic array. So, obviously, basic array, what we are having, this is a linear data structure in the memory. The problem behind this particular basic array is the items which we are going to store inside the array, it has to be of the similar type, and their size is fixed. Right. So we cannot grow their size at runtime. So we are deciding the size of normal array either at the time of declaring an array, or we are deciding by inputting the number from the keyboard. Here it comes the arises the usefulness of dynamic array. If you are going to have the single array, the normal array, obviously their size is fixed. That means, let's say if I take the example, if I create a simple array of size of 3 elements. So up to 3 elements what you are going to enter, it's fine. But the moment you are going to enter the 4th item, so obviously there is no space to store the 4th item inside the array. So in the Java, it is going to give you the runtime exception that is called array index out of bound exception. So here what we are supposed to do is, in order to implement the concept of dynamic array, so what we are going to do is, every time whenever you are going to enter the data inside your array, you have to keep on checking whether the array is full or not. If the content of array is full, then we have to create a dynamic array having the double of its original size. Although there is a formula for dynamic arrays, the formula is the actual size of the array multiplied by 3 by 2. Right. So either you can have 3 by 2 concept, or you can go for the double in size. Right. So that concept we are going to implement with the help of the program. So let's go for the implementation of the same. One by one we will talk in detail. So we will go to the program. Here we are going to discuss everything from the scratch. Obviously, in order to maintain the array, we are going to create a one class. Let's say my class name is class array, right? Within this particular class, I'll declare the array size, array. So here I'm going to have array of integer data type. So here I will say integer ARR, and mind you, I am not giving out here the size of an array. I'll be taking even the size of the array at the time of execution, at the time of running of an application. Now I'll be having one more variable which will keep on track of the number of elements which are available, or which is available inside the array. So count, I have taken integer type, and initial value I am going to give it 0, since we don't have any number, any item in my array, right? Now, so as I said, I have to decide the size of the array at runtime, even the initial size of the array at runtime, right? For that we are going to have the concept of, we are going to implement using the concept of constructor, right? So here I have a constructor. This constructor will receive one number as a parameter. This number is going to decide the size of my initial size of the array. So here I can specify their size, right? And whatever size we are going to give, with that size it's going to create an array. So my array reference, array name is ARR, and then dynamically, since we are going to create it dynamically, so we'll be writing new keyword followed by the data type and the size which we are going to specify, that is called size variable, right? And after that, now the question comes in, this is a constructor, how this constructor is going to be called up. So in order to call the constructor, I am going to create one more class, and that class has to be the public class. So I am going to write the public class. My dynamic array class name is dArray, right? And within this is my driver class. That means this is the class which is going to initiate the execution of my application. So we need to write a main method out here. So how we can write it? Usually we write using public static void main, and then we are passing a parameter. The usual parameter is any string array, and within this what I am going to do is I'm going to create an object of this particular array class. So the moment I'll be creating an object of this array class, automatically their constructor will be called up. So let us create the object of this array class. So this is the way by which we can create it. This is my reference variable, and here I am going to create object of this, and at the time of creating an object, I am passing initial size as 3. The moment you write 3 out here, that means you are going to create an object of this array class. The moment you are going to create an object of this array class, the constructor will be called up, and this 3 will be copied on size, and that will be the initial size of my original array, right? Now, up to this stage, things look very cool. So now we have to write few methods out here. Obviously, at any point in time, I may display the content of this particular array. For that, I am going to create one method called print array. As well as, in order to insert the insert the element into the array, we have to create one more method. So first of all, I'll be writing a prototype of those methods out here. So here I'll be writing public void, and this method is responsible for printing the content of an array, right? So obviously, in order to print the content of an array, we have to take the loop, because the very same fashion we have to print the each and every element into the array. So I'll be writing here int I equal to 0, then I less than count, because the count will have the counting of number of element available inside the array, right? And then we'll be having I plus plus, and as a part of this we have to print the content. So I have to write system dot out dot print. You can write a print, or you can write a print ln. I'm writing a print y because I wanted to display the content side by side on the very same line. So I'll be using the print. Obviously the name of the array is ARR, their index is I, and then here I want to concatenate some blank space for the clarity purpose. Once this is done, so this will be printed. So this method is sorted out. This is a method responsible for printing the content of an array. But the very important thing is that we have to insert an element into the array. So in order to do that, I have to write one more method out here, that is called insert method. So I'll be writing here public void insert. So one by one we are going to insert the element into an array. So for that we'll be having one integer variable. Let's say I'm taking the variable name as element, and here we have to take a logic of inputting element into the array. So obviously my array name is what? My array name is ARR. So I'll be writing out here ARR. Initial size of the ARR is going to be 0. So obviously that is being tracked by count variable. So I'll be writing out here count plus plus, and then this will have a value called element. Right, now how we can invoke this particular insert method? So obviously from here I can invoke the insert method. I'll be writing obj dot insert, and the first value which I'm going to insert is, let's say, 5. Similarly, I can insert 2, 3 more item, correct? So here I'll be writing the second one, third one, and I'll keep on correcting this data. The second element will be 10 of the array, third element would be 15, and after that I'm going to print the content of an array. So obj dot, obviously for the printing purpose we have created a method called print array. Now so far it is not going to give any error, because inside the array the initial size of the array is having a 3 element and we have entered only 3. But the moment we are going to enter the 4th element inside the array, then this is going to create a problem. So first of all we'll see the normal situation, then we will try to insert an extra element, then the size of the array, then see what happens. So obviously my file is getting saved and we are trying to compile it, and so far we'll see the outcome of this particular application. So we'll compile it. So name of the class is DArray of my driver class. So fortunately there is no error. So see, if I run this, we are able to see the item 5, 10 and 15. You must have noticed out here, inside the array we have entered this 5, 10 and 15, and the size of an array was of exactly 3 items. So there is no problem. But moment we are going to insert the one more item which is going to exceed the limit of an array. So let's say I am trying to insert a new element having a value 20. So obviously how many elements is going to have? Obviously it's going to have the 4 elements. However, the size of the array is only 3. So let's see how my program is responding now. So now we are going to compile a program, and if I go for it, if I go for the compilation and if I run it again, now you can notice runtime error which we have got. As I already mentioned, the moment you are going to exceed the limit of the array, you will be having a runtime exception called array index out of bound. Why it is called? The array index range is 0 to 2 only, 0, 1 and 2, because the size of the array was 3. However, we are trying to enter the 4th item which is not going to be accommodated inside the simple array. So here the need of dynamic array, where continuously or endlessly you can keep on entering the record and your array is not going to fill. But now we have to implement the concept of dynamic array. So what we have to do is, now we have to develop our logic inside this insert method. Obviously insert method, what we have to do is, this is the insert method. Every time whenever you are going to enter an element, we have to keep on checking whether your original array has full with the value or not. So here I can check if the name of the array is ARR, we have to check their length. Obviously length, we can check it by writing this, the name of the array dot length property, and if it is equal to count, right? If it is equal to count, because the ARR dot length is always, it is going to give you 3, and count, when count will be 3, once you have entered the 3 elements inside the array, their value will also be 3. So once the size of the array as well as the size of the content of the count becomes same, that means array is full. Once this array is full, then here itself we have to develop our logic. So once this condition is true, then we have to develop the logic. And what logic we are going to implement out here? My logic is that once this content of the array is getting full, it should be double in size. So in order to do the double in size, and after doing the double in size, we have to create a new array, because in the same array you cannot expand it at runtime. So the logic is, I am going to create a double size new array, and within the new array, old array content I will be keep on copying element by element, and then after new element will be copied at the end of the new array. And again, one more thing we have to do is, we have to reposition my original array reference variable to the new array reference variable. How we can do that? So here I am going to create a runtime array, new array, that is called integer new. Let's say I am going to give the name of the array is ARR, right? And their size is going to be new. Obviously it is going to keep the value of integer data type only. And within this we have to write down the logic. Here I have to write the count, multiply by, obviously we have to make it a double, and definitely here I have to write this kind of bracket, because this is the way by which we can initialize it. Earlier also we have initialized in the very same fashion. Clear? So this is the way by which we can create it. So once it is getting created in double in size, then what we have to do is, we have to keep on copying original content into this particular array. So for that I will be having for int I equal to 0, and then I less than count, and then I will be writing I plus plus, and within this we have to do the routine of copying the original content array into the new array element by element. So how we can do that? We can write new ARR within this index number I, and this will be copied with the content of already existing array named as ARR, right? And once it is getting copied, then once the copying work is done, we will out from this particular for loop, and here we have to initialize ARR with the reference variable called reference variable of new array. So here we have to write it like this. So this is going to be the logic of if your original array is getting full. If the original array is getting full, that means the size of the array is equivalent to count. Once it is done, we are making the new array of double of the original size. Then we are copying the original array content into the new array, and then this original array is going to reposition with the new array, right? So this is going to be done once this portion is done, and if the size is not filled, on that condition we are going to have the basic logic which we are having out here, that is called ARR, that is ARR count plus plus, right? So we have to check it up to this stage whether it is working or not. Again we have to recompile it after doing this. So I say d array dot java. We have to check there is a problem with the line number 19 and 20. So we have to go to the line number 19 and 20 for obviously there is a semicolon missing out here. In the line number 20, this bracket is missing out here. We need to sieve it, and again we need to recompile it, right? So once we do this, and then if we run the program, so you can notice out here the initial size of the array was 3 item, and we have entered the 4th item, and successfully 4th item is getting inserted out here. Let's try with some another try to add few more item over there, right? So initial size of the array was 3. Now we are successfully able to add the 4th item, and accordingly I am going to enter the 5th item, 6th item, and then 7th item, and here I am going to change their value as 25. The value of this is 26. The value of this is 27. So you can notice out here initially my original size of the array was 3. So after entering the first 3 items, this is getting full, so it's making their size double of their size. It becomes 6. So 3 plus 3, 6, right? And one more item I'm going to enter out here, right? So already the size is of 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this is 7. So once it is going to enter the 7th item, so again it is going to change their size to from 6 to 12. So let us verify whether it is working or not. So we will go to the compilation, and here I do the recompilation, and if you run this, so successfully we are able to see initially what we saw at the time of entering the 4th item, there was a runtime exception, that is called array index out of bound exception. It got their double of size. So double of size means 3 is double to 6. Now we are able to enter the 7th. So continuously this kind of arrays keep on growing endlessly till the sufficient memory space which you are having with your system. So I hope this the concept of the dynamic array is very clear to everyone. Thank you very much. I will be coming with the new video very soon.